5 seconds remaining.
Hello everyone, I'm Niz. Welcome back to NizCast. We're casting something a little bit different tonight, or today I should say, as we're just past noon on a Saturday morning. We're casting the Saturday Dota League, which is a brand new league just starting up today. This is the first match, and it's a league that's going to be on every Saturday. And basically what they've done is they've started a new league, and they've selected, they took in a bunch of applications from a whole bunch of amateur teams. They selected the 8 that they thought were going to be the most stable, but also going to be the highest skill. And they threw them together into a league, split them up into 2 groups, or 2 divisions. So we've got the red division and the blue division. This game's going to be from the blue division. And there's 4 teams in each group, or each division. And basically we're going to have a short little league. It's going to start off with a little round robin stage, so there's going to be 3 weeks of that. Each team plays each other once per Saturday. So, there's going to be 1 match per Saturday. They're going to be a best of 2, so that after the 3 weeks, everyone will have played everyone within their division. When that's all said and done, top 2 teams from each division will get thrown into the winner's bracket. Bottom 2 teams get thrown into the loser's bracket. Then we have about 4 weeks of playoffs until eventually we have crowned a winner, and that's how the first season's going to go. So it's going to be short. It's only going to be 7 weeks in total.
5 seconds
but that's just how you get used to casting a tournament and making sure everything runs smoothly. And past that, it's going to expand and hopefully grow to something great. But like I said, we've got a match from the blue division starting us off. So we've got UTD Savants. It's going to be playing on the Dire side. Probably going to recognize a bunch of those names. And we've got not Ninjas and Tiaras. Their name is Started from the PotM. They're going to be playing on the Radiant side. And of course, you're probably going to recognize some of those names as well. So we've got some pretty good names, pretty big names in this game, and certainly in this league as well. The only team, I know I've been casting a bunch of Dota 2 Canada Cup recently. The only team from Dota 2 Canada Cup that's going to be in this is going to be Boreal Esports, and frankly, they've been putting on a show recently, so I look forward to what they're able to do. They're going to be playing a little bit later tonight, and actually the final match at 9 p.m. Unfortunately, I will just be casting this match, but I'll toss you over to some of the other casters or streams after this game. But just to let you know, everyone that's involved in this tournament, we've got the Business Gaming, ASDF, No Brood Mama, Boreal Esports, UTD Savants, and of course started from the PotM score, excuse me, MEMP, and Mastodon. Which I think, if you've been watching me for a little while, you would know that you'd recognize most of those names from the Semi-Pro Cup series.
Spirit Breaker.
So you know that we've got some pretty good games in store, as most of those teams make it to very, very deep into the tournament, if not the finals, most of the times that they play. If you want to find out more about the Saturday Dota League, you can go to SaturdayDotaLeague.com. It's nice and easy. But if you go there, you'll actually find out one thing, and that is that everything in this tournament is meant to be nice and open and accessible to everyone. So you can actually go in-game in Dota 2 and go under tournaments, amateur, for North America. And I believe it's on the 3rd page for me. It may be on a different page for you, but you can actually see the ticket in there, Saturday Dota League, and it's completely free. So you can watch in-game on Dota TV, or you can go back and watch the replays if you maybe missed the game live. But everything's going to be open. It's going to be nice and easy for you guys to follow. So that's something that's really awesome that Aegis has set up for this league. But let's stop talking about all that other stuff and start talking about the draft. As we're in 6.84, and we are already seeing the brand new hero, Winter Wyvern, getting picked up by UTD Savants. Prior to that, we had Zeus and Centaur banned out, and Alchemist and Leshrac were banned out by Started from the PotM. Then, of course, that Winter Wyvern came out, responded with a Skywrath and Spirit Breaker from Started from the PotM, and then UTD finished out the first round of picks with a Viper.
Radiant team
Troll Warlord now getting removed from the pool. It's almost refreshing not to see him getting banned out in the first round, as there's other heroes that these players are afraid of. And this is actually the first time I've seen Alk touched in all the games I've cast in 6.84 so far. This is the first time I've seen him either picked or banned, in this case banned. Leshrac has been a high priority. Zeus has been picked a lot, hasn't been banned. But Troll, it's nice to see him getting banned. Sniper, I think, is still also a viable pick. Obviously not as strong as he once was, but definitely still a viable pick. We'll see if he gets removed this time around. I don't think so, looking at the team lineups, that he's going to get removed from the pool, but we'll see. Vengeful Spirit was the ban for started from the PotM, and now Ancient Apparition gets removed by UTD Savants.
Team ban.
So with the Winter Wyvern, so far I've seen him played in one game in 6.84, and the team that ran him in the support role, but they also went aggressive in an aggro tri-lane. So it'll be interesting to see if UTD Savants chooses to go about that route. So expect him to be playing in a support role. I believe he'll probably be as a position 4. Viper, you don't really know for sure where they're going to put him. Most likely he gets run in the mid lane, but if they do choose to go in that aggro tri-lane, he could very well be the core, and I say that with quotations, in that aggro tri-lane with the Winter Wyvern and, well, a support that's yet to be named. As for our Radiant side, we've got Skywrath. Obviously, he's going to be support. Spirit Breaker, a little bit flexible as well. Most likely played as a support, and as I say that, Rubik gets picked up. So most likely, Spirit Breaker is actually going to be as an offlaner, and we're going to have Rubik and Skywrath as the support duo. Both heroes that are really good at roaming around, and frankly, I think they're not too bad heroes in an aggro versus aggro situation. Rubik, his lift is actually quite valuable. I'm not sure how it synergizes with Skywrath Mage. I don't think there's the best synergy there, but it's still good at actually going and zoning out an offlaner and maybe making a rotation to mid. In terms of aggro versus aggro, it'd be nice if they had that to set up something else from maybe their hard carry. But that'll remain to be seen, and we don't know for sure that it's going to be an aggro to begin with, so we can't really jump to conclusions on that front. But Lion was the last ban for started from the PotM. And as I look at this draft right now, I see the Spirit Breaker in the off lane, and as UTD Savants, I think, well, if we've got our Viper in the mid lane, are we really worried about Spirit Breaker charging in constantly? Maybe. Viper, he becomes a pretty tanky hero, but he's actually not that tanky right from the get-go. So I don't know. I don't think Winter Wyvern's one of those heroes that's going to be able to TP and really save someone at a tower, although he can imprison them with his third ability, which unfortunately I forget the name of, Cold Embrace. Is that it? Yeah, that is Cold Embrace. Still getting adjusted to the Winter Wyvern being available in CM. And speaking of CM, we're going to see CM picked up. That's a hero that's actually great at rotating around early on, and typically if UTD Savants chooses to not go aggro and stay in the safe lane, which I think with that CM pick that they're going to be doing, then that CM's probably going to be sitting in the jungle for the most part, and that's going to make easy rotations from her coming from the Dire side hard camp, so the one closest to the Dire side base, and then rotating towards the mid lane to save the Viper against any kind of Spirit Breaker ganks. So expect her to kind of hang out in between that hard camp and that mid lane. Queen of Pain's going to be the pick for started from the PotM. As that looks like it's going to be their mid laner. And now we're really going to find out what UTD Savants has in store for us here. Is they're gonna blow it wide open with this pick. As well, we're going to see who's going to be their core, who's going to be their offlaner, and that'll give us a huge indication of what they're going to be doing with their lanes. Of course, if they pick a traditional offlaner, I mean, they could put it safe lane against the Spirit Breaker, but that would mean that they're going to lack a little bit of scaling going on later in the game, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to pick up the Phoenix, so we know that Phoenix most likely going to be in the off lane, Viper's going to be in the mid lane, Winter Wyvern and, well, the CM in the jungle, but the Winter Wyvern and the CM effectively supporting the top lane, and then we're going to have a hard carry that's yet to be picked by UTD Savants. And started from the PotM, we pretty much know their lanes are pretty well established right now. Spirit Breaker off lane, Queen of Pain mid, Skywrath Rubik supports in the bottom lane, and they're looking for a hard carry as well. So it'll be interesting to see what they ban out here. They're going to ban out the Bristleback.
Dire team ban.
Keep in mind, first pick coming out of this banning phase is going to go to started from the PotM, which is our Radiant side. So they have first crack at whatever carries are left after this banning phase, but you could say that maybe there's a little bit of an advantage to UTD Savants in their having of the last choice of that carry.
5 seconds remaining.
Maybe they'll be able to pick a carry that will counter another carry. I'm trying to think of any examples
Reserve time.
that are going to be immediately relevant right now. Nothing's actually coming to mind here. As for any kind of changes that we've seen with 6.84 affecting any of these heroes, what do we have? Rubik, Nullfield affecting creeps, no big deal. Spirit Breaker can buy Basher, no big deal. Skywrath,
Radiant team pick.
I don't think anything was changed on Skywrath. Queen of Pain, I also don't think anything was changed on her. Slark is going to be the pick for starter from the PotM. Don't believe he was changed either.
Pick.
Winter Wyvern, he had a bunch of changes and also added to CM. Viper, no changes. CM had a slight change to how her first ability worked, her Q, the Nova. And what it did is it changed the slow aspect of it. So I believe it's a slightly stronger slow at level 1, but then doesn't scale as well
10
in terms of strength as you level it up, but the duration is
5
longer.
seconds
I
remaining.
believe the change. I can actually take a look, make sure I'm not giving you guys false information here.
Reserve
This is
time.
why I still have the 6.84 patch notes open on a second monitor, just for this reason. And yeah, so it's actually the movement and attack slow was minus 30, and now it's minus 20, 30, 40, 50. So it actually got better, my mistake. And the slow duration is now 4.5 seconds in total, and it used to scale from 3.5 up to 5. But we've got our final pick, and that's going to be a Tiny, a Tony, whatever you want to call him. He's a big rock. And that's what UTD Savants is going to park in their in their safe lane. Excuse me. Long ago, Tiny was running that safe lane. I miss those days. Tiny rushing Blink Dagger in the safe lane, jumping around, blowing up supports with his combo. Now we see him parked in the safe lane. He typically gets an Egg Scepter, and then he runs around and blows up supports with a tree that he pulls out of nowhere. But we're going to hop on into this one as we've got the start of the Saturday
Prepare
Dota
for
League.
battle.
And I'm excited to cast it. We've got some really good teams, and certainly we've got some really good players in this one. So, on our Radiant side, we've got, started from the PotM, playing their Spirit Breaker is going to be WWD. Freedom is going to be on the Slark. One of the stand-ins at Misha Dota is going to be on the Queen of Pain. Archer, aka TTK, is going to be playing the Rubik. And unfortunately, we got another stand-in. That's bacon. Thanks, man. Shout out to Niz. As we got another stand-in, and that's going to be Anacletus. Yeah, I think I said that one right. As WWD is going to actually run into some heroes from YTD Savants. Doesn't look like much is going to happen, so we'll go back to introducing the teams. As well, on our Dire side, we do have the YTD or the UTD Savants playing the Crystal Maiden with an awesome set, and the little pet is going to be Lonely Boy. Rilk or Rilke is going to be playing the Winter Wyvern. Sneaks is going to be on the Tiny. Bacon is Beast, a friend of mine, is going to be on the Viper. And Exiled is going to be on the Phoenix. What do we have for starting items? Well, we've got a Mango. Enchanted Mango. One of the new items getting picked up by Sneaks on the Tiny. Besides that, I want to point out one other thing, and that is with 6.84 we had a change to how Observer Wards and Sentry Wards worked in your inventory. So right now, you can see they combine onto the same spot, which is really great for support, frees up an inventory spot for them. But basically we're going to have one that's active, and well, it's going to change back, but you're going to have one that's active. It's going to be one on the right. In the bottom right, it's going to show you how many of those wards the person has. And then the left one, which in that case was the Sentry Wards, it's going to be the inactive one, so that's the one they're not going to place if they were to use their hotkey for it. And you could see he had 2, and he still has 2 left over. The other change is that Observer Wards, you can buy them individually now. Sentry Wards still come in a pack of 2, as we've got a little bit of action here in the top lane, as WWD is going to take a little bit of damage. I don't think they're going to be able to get the kill here, so he'll just salve himself back up. He started with 2 sets of tangos and a healing salve, so he's got plenty of regen. But it's going to be a little bit of a tough lane going up against his Winter Wyvern, Crystal Maiden, and Tiny. As for a mid lane, we're going to have Queen of Pain going up against Viper. And in the bottom lane, we've got Phoenix, who's going to be offlane. See, roams around to the bottom rune, but mainly to soak up the XP of this pull. And he's going to be going up against the Rubik, the Skywrath Mage, and the Slark. Let's see just how much XP Exiled is able to leech here, as it's very difficult for the supports to zone out a hero, especially like Phoenix, when he parks himself in the lane like that. As we do have our first smoke of the game, and it's going to come out from the Skywrath Mage, so he's going to park himself behind Misha, as Misha is going to healing salve himself back up and prepare himself for a potential gank onto Bacon his Beast. Not going to wait for the rune, but we are going to have a wraparound from the Skywrath Mage. Is he going to go? Smoke about to end, but he's already in position, so he's okay. Now here we go. Gonna lead with the concussive shot. Misha's already blinked on in. Bacon is in a whole bunch of trouble. He's gonna go down for our first blood. The first kill of the Saturday Dota League. Lonely Boy makes a rotation towards the top rune, and he gets there before Anacletus is, and luckily enough for him, it wasn't an Invis rune. So he's gonna pick that up. He does have Frostbite skilled. Hasn't been sitting in the jungle much at all. And he's hurting a little bit for XP, but he is going to get a little bit here as they're going to pick off Misha with Bacon TPing on in. Misha maybe playing a little bit too aggressive there, knowing that Skywrath Mage, or knowing that the CM was Invis, probably because he thought, well, I've got my Skywrath Mage behind me, why would a CM engage? Well, that's exactly why. But in the bottom lane, we're going to have some more damage being dealt to Exiled, as he got pounced on by Freedom. As we see more pressure being applied in this mid lane, both teams really valuing how, what kind of a start that their mid laner is going to get. As we've seen, well, lots of pressure coming out onto the Viper and some kind of counter pressure coming out onto the CM, or onto the Queen of Pain. WWD in trouble in the top lane. He's been avalanched as well as tossed up in the air. He tries to charge away, but Lonely the Boy is there with the Frostbite, and the kill will go to Sneaks. So UTD Savants find themselves ahead 2-1 right now. Sky was just making his way up there, and maybe they're going to try to set something up with WWD TPing on in. There is a lane ward here, so UTD Savants know exactly what's going on with this rotation. They still may go for it. Be in trouble here as the Winter Wyvern's in trouble, but there he goes, imprisoning himself. He's immune to physical damage, and he's regenning ridiculously fast when he does. We will still lose him. We're also going to lose the Winter Wyvern, as Sneaks is going to get one more kill on that Tiny. He's going to try to get one more swing off. Nope, not going to be able to. As with 6.84, melee heroes effectively had the lengths of their arms reduced, so they can't get those really long auto attacks off. If they move out of the range, the attack just gets cancelled. Lonely Boy's getting charged up here. Sneaks completely out of mana on the Tiny, so he's not going to be able to do anything. He can toggle his treads, and he's going to do so. That's going to allow him to get a toss and allow them to get the kill onto the Skywrath Mage. Now they're going to look to go after WWD. This is a huge turnaround for UTD Savants. Rilk, will he get one auto attack off? No, he's not going to be able to. WWD just gets out of there alive. Lonely Boy losing a ton of HP, but somehow making it out of there. And I'd really like to see them rotate Lonely Boy into the jungle. There's been a lot of action going on in the top lane and in the mid lane, and that's really tied up the CM, effectively hurting the value of that CM pick.
Is under attack.
But it's not the worst thing in the world. You know, CM is one of those heroes that can get back in the game fairly quickly. You do just want to see those couple levels in Arcane Aura early on, and because CM's been moving around so much, we see her just about to hit level 4. So she's lacking a little bit in where she'd normally be in terms of XP, but not that far behind, so it's not the worst thing in the world for a UTD Savants. The bottom lane, we've got Freedom, who is our top farmer of the game right now at 30 and 12 CS. He's elected to go with a set of treads, and now he's going to wrap around here onto Exiled, but Exiled just Icarus dives away. Archer been doing a pretty good job of zoning out the Phoenix in the bottom lane. Speaking of which, what kind of XP does Exiled have? He's about to hit level 4, so he's doing alright. Let's compare that to WWD, who just hit 4, so both offlaners pretty much dead even. A little bit more CS has gone the way of WWD, as he's sitting at 5 and 1, whereas Exiled's just at 2 and 0. Sneaks has gone with a set of power treads and an upgraded magic wand. Interesting to see if he's going to be going for a Midas as his next item, or or whatnot. Oh, unfortunately I missed a kill in the bottom lanes. We're going to lose Phoenix.
Dire's
Exiled
bottom
getting
tower
caught out
is under
there.
attack.
Obviously, Icarus dive on cooldown. Yeah, Icarus dive was on cooldown. And Archer looks like he probably led with a lift there. We got more action in the top lane. Sneaks is going to get frozen up by Winter Wyvern. But maybe he needed to save that for himself as he's going to go down. But we've got lots of TPs coming in from UTD Savants as they're going to look to turn this around. Misha's the closest target. Blink is going to be up for her, so she'll be perfectly fine. WWD is going to choose to re-engage as he's going to get the charge off onto Exile. It's going to be a 4v3 in favor of UTD right now. But it could very well go the other way, as WWD is going to be the first to fall, but we're going to lose Sneaks immediately after. Lonely Boy's low on HP as well. And when it's all said and done, we're just going to lose the 2 heroes for UTD. So despite the fact that they had numbers there, unfortunately losing on out on that little exchange there, Misha's actually going to head all the way back to base. Is sitting on half HP and 29 mana. That's not where you want to be on a Queen of Pain. Maybe Skyrath's going to make a similar rotation as he's completely as well. Archer, not though. He wasn't up there at in the top lane, so he's going to enjoy a little bit of XP and a little bit of gold as he gets a few last hits in the mid lane. Speaking of the mid lane, it was pretty much even. Bacon finished at 32-6, whereas Misha is at 28-5 on the Queen of Pain. So the 2 mid laners very even. And overall, this game is actually pretty even. The biggest discrepancy is actually between the 2 safe laners, as there's been a little bit of distance created between the Slark, who's sitting at 42-16, as he's going to look to try and get another kill into Exile. Icarus dive still available, so he'll be okay. But Freedom sitting at 42-16, whereas Sneaks has fallen behind a little bit, 37-12, as he's caught up a little bit, as he just wiped out a creep wave. Bacon in trouble as Misha's jumped on him. WWD charges on in. And Archer even stealing that Viper Strike, so he has that available to him. As started from the bottom, they get another kill and find themselves ahead 7-5 right now. Ping spam coming out as they spotted out Anacletus, who has picked up an Invis rune in the bottom location. It's going to try to set something up in the mid lane, but look at the positioning of the Winter Wyvern, playing very, very safe, not willing to risk it. As the Dire side's actually devoted both of their wards to protecting their mid lane, and they got one up on the Radiant High Ground, as well as that one in the bottom, looking at the rune. Bacon TP's on in. He'll be... He was kind of starting to play a little bit aggressive there, but thinking maybe better of it, as they know the Skyrath is still invis. And now Sky will actually rotate away as that invis is expiring. We're going to have another TP to the mid lane. WWD charging on in. Misha does have ult ready, but they're just going to back away. WWD unfortunately didn't have enough mana to use his Nether Strike. He does now. So actually he probably would have been able to with using his magic wand. It's obviously not ideal. They're going to charge again. Charge target is Bacon, but this is getting pretty deep, but they don't care. They're still going. TPs are going to come in from the Crystal Maiden and the Tiny, but we've already lost the Viper, and now they're going to look to try and turn it around. Archer getting quite low. He's going to go down. Now Lonely Boy is going to try to right-click down Misha to protect his Winter Wyvern. Not going to be able to do it in time. As the Winter Wyvern goes down, the Queen of Pain able to TP away. WWD, and a little bit of a right-click battle here. He will win out over Sneaks, but he's going to go down to Lonely Boy with the Crystal Nova. But Crystal Maiden will go down as well to the Skyrath Mage. 4 heroes go down on the side of UTD. We just lose 2 on the side of Started from the Bottom. So they continue to get further and further ahead, and well, we really haven't seen the Slark getting involved in any of these fights, but we've seen pretty much everyone on the side of UTD. So the fact that Started from the Bottom is ahead 11-7 right now has to be a pretty good advantage for them. As I'm going to switch on over to the net worth, and we can see just where that gold has gone, and we see 4,500 net worth is our leader on the Queen of Pain. Then it's going to be the Slark in the bottom lane at 4.2. Sneaks on the Tiny, 3.4, and Bacon at 3k. That's going to round up our top 4, but we do have a smoke here coming up from Sneaks and Lonely Boy, as they're going to look to try and get a kill here onto the Slark. Maybe use the Winter Wyvern to bait him in a little bit. Will he? Oh, he's kind of playing a little bit aggressive. Lonely Boy's a little bit far from Sneaks here, but they're still going to engage. They're going to lock down Freedom in place, allowing them to get closer. That was actually good usage of those skills as they're going to get that kill. Archer looks like he's going to get a return kill as he's going to drop Lonely Boy. But that's definitely the kind of trade that UTD will take any day of the week as they drop that safe lane carry Slark and just lose their Crystal Maiden. No big deal. WWD charges on in, but he'll cancel that. Misha's running around hasted, looking for a kill as well, but they won't find one. I'm going to quickly look at our gold graph and see where we stand. We can just see the effect of those extra kills going the way of the Radiant side as they're sitting ahead 4,000 gold. XP similar as well, 4,000 XP going their way. As we see a little bit of oh no, not actually warding. He's just going to wait for the rune here, and let's see what he gets. It's going to be an invis, so he's going to pick that up, make a rotation maybe towards the mid lane. As once again it gets pinged out, this observer ward, spotting out both the times that Anacletus has picked up an invis in the bottom location. He's actually just going to go straight on to Exile and just drop him. Wow, dropped him real quick. A little help from Misha. They still had Sonic Wave available. Misha's going to be able to blink away. He was a Viper Strike, but Sneaks is going to be there to smack him with his rock hand. WWD will get killed as well. So fight going the way of UTD. Or YTD, excuse me. Well, I guess it's still right. It's UTD Savants, but abbreviated to YTD. Come on, you guys got to give me that one. We will have the Blink Dagger getting purchased by Tiny, so Sneaks electing to go with that as his first item. Skipping over the Midas, skipping over the early Aghanim's Rush. And you know what? When you're playing up against a Rubik and a Skywrath Mage, two very squishy targets, and targets that you can easily blow up with your toss combo, why not, right? You can snowball off those kills. We've seen a lot of action already, 23 kills in 13 minutes. Sure. Let's quickly cycle through all our heroes and see what we got. WWD's just sitting on a set of treads. He's picked up a gauntlet of iron, or a gauntlet of strength, so probably going after an urn. Anacletus has his arcane boots. He's actually done quite well for himself as a support. And that's thanks to being 5-2 and 5 right now. Misha looks like he's going after an orchid, as he's just around the halfway mark to that item. Archer looks like he's going for his tranquils. Has picked up a bracer to give himself a little bit more HP.
Top tower is under attack.
I'd like to see him maybe pick up
a
cloak to help against some of the magic damage coming out from YTD. And the reason I say that is because, well, it's one of those components of Glimmer Cape, which is a really strong item right now. We've seen a few teams value it really highly, other teams not even choosing to go with it at all. I think in this game it would be a pretty good pickup for the Rubik. As Bacon's going to get slowed up by the Shadow Strike there. As we're going to move on to our Dire side and take a look at what Bacon has as he's working towards his mechanism, or mechanism. As he's about 400 away from complete that. Misha blinks on in, but oh no, mistakes were made. Unfortunately, when you've used your blink to jump on and play aggressive, you don't have your blink to jump out and play safe, and he had no idea that Sneaks, Lonely Boy, and Rilke were in behind Bacon. We are going to have mass TPs coming up from YTD to defend their top tier 1 tower. Freedom will pounce up into the trees. WWD will charge away, and they're not going to be able to get any kills here. And now, will they actually look to go on the Winter Wyvern? No, it was just pinged out. Lonely Boy will freeze WWD and let the freezing field go. The Nether Strike's going to come out, interrupting that Crystal Maiden. And CM's just going to drop, but Sneaks comes blinking on in, blowing up that Skywrath Mage. Won't be able to get a kill onto Archer here as WWD re-engages with a charge, stunning up Sneaks. Exile comes in, throwing out the Fiery Spirit, slowing everyone down. But now Misha's going to jump on in, throws out the Sonic Wave, but Sneaks, fast with the fingers, blinks to avoid it. We will lose Exile. He's going to get right-clicked down inside the Supernova. We also lost the Winter Wyvern as well. Bacon starting to make his rotation from the top lane, but he needs to be careful. He's going to get spotted by this Observer Ward if he continues it, and he's actually not going to take that path. He does deliver his mech, though, so he's got that going for him, as that's going to make him quite a bit tankier. I don't think we'll see him build the mech into the new item, which is the Guardian Greaves, which is a combination of the mech and arcane boots. But I don't really think he's going to be building arcane boots, but you never know. Lots of players still experimenting with this new patch, trying to figure out what the best kind of build is for all the heroes, as everything's going to be changing, and not just the items, but also the pace of the game, the kind of heroes that they're going to be playing against, and that's really going to affect your item choices going forward. Lonely Boy has elected to go with a second bracer, really tanking up on the CM. Still under 900 HP.
Dire's top tower is
the CM
attack.
life. Sneaks has picked up a point booster, so building towards his items. What is Exiled sitting on? Still just Tranquils. He's been struggling a little bit here as he's 0, 4, and 0. Just hasn't been able to get anything positive going. We will have some TPs coming on in started from the PotM as they look to defend this mid-tier 1 tower. But it is dropping pretty quickly. Glyph is still available though.
Tower is under attack.
And they may actually just let it go as Slark's still sitting in the bottom lane. He's going to put a little pressure on the bottom tier 1. And Misha's up in the Dire jungle. Well, maybe we'll see if they can try and get a deny here. They won't. Kill on the tower will go to Sneaks, but Freedom gets the bottom tier 1 tower. And, well, a little bit of damage exchange, but nothing too big. Freedom did get that bottom tier 1, as I mentioned. Exiled TP's down here just to push him back a little bit. Freedom has picked up a Shadow Blade, and the natural progression from that is going to be into a Silver Edge, which, frankly, is a really good item onto Slark. Slark likes to build a Shadow Blade to begin with, but adding that Silver Edge, of course, adds a little bit of damage. The Maim is nice for Slark as well, being able to keep on his targets. He's already fast, he's got the Pounce, but if you add the Maim in there too, it's great. But the big thing is if he's able to open up onto Sneaks with it, attacking out of that Invis, he's going to be able to reduce all the damage that Sneaks can do for its duration by 40%, and that's very significant. And I think we're going to see the effectiveness of that as this game goes forward, assuming he goes after the Silver Edge. Or maybe we're maybe thinking a little bit too far ahead there, but I think it's pretty likely. Misha has finished the Orchid and is actually, they were thinking of setting up a kill there as Anacletus somehow has been invis this entire game. Ice Frog, there must be a bug. A Skyrath, I don't understand. He's actually been invis like half the game. That's actually going to expire in just a second, and now he's going to pick up another rune. So he got both 18-minute runes. That's nice when you're a support. Archer doing a little bit of farming up here in the jungle as he's gone for Arcane Boots, who hasn't built those, hasn't built Tranquils, although he had just kind of your normal brown boots and a Ring of Regen. Thought, yeah, he's going after Tranquils. Nope, electing to go with Arcane Boots instead. Now he'll complete an urn. WWD has a set of drums, and he's going to get tossed up in the air and stunned by Sneaks. Exiled's going to jump on in, pops a Supernova. That's going to allow them to get the kill onto WWD, the Winter Wyvern getting the last hit. Exiled is reborn and will jump forward with his Icarus Dive, and Archer is going to take a fall as well. He did manage to steal Icarus Dive, but unfortunately not able to jump away before he was brought down. In the top lane, Bacon trying to defend against Misha, and looks like he will do so successfully as Misha's just going to blink away. The bottom tier 1 tower did go down. 4 heroes down there, none of them got the last hit. The creeps, too good getting the last hit there, but there is some argument to be made about whether or not it is beneficial to last hit the tower. It is a little bit more gold going the way of the hero that actually last hits it, but it effectively means that everyone else in your team gets a little bit less gold as a result. So if you want to better distribute the gold among your team, it's actually better for the creeps to get the last hit. Most people are not going to use that mindset. Of course, they want that extra little bit of gold. But it looks like Winter Wyvern's going to get caught out here by the Slark, as he's going to get tossed up in the air. He's going to have to pop that ultimate and try and run away. Icarus Dive comes in from Exiled, but he chooses to return back to his original position. Sneaks is going to go down. Misha comes in with the Sonic Wave, but then gets focused down as he's going to drop. Bacon is just standing there like a turret, just throwing out his Viper attacks. But now he's going to get Viper Striked by the Rubik, as that's always a guaranteed steal, as they're going to try and right-click him down. We have lost Lonely Boy, and looks like we're going to lose Exiled as well. Bacon is going to try to TP out, and oh, not able to do so. It wasn't, actually. I thought it was the Rubik that got the kill there. No, it was Anacletus on the Skywrath Mage that gets the last hit onto Bacon as we lose 4 heroes on the side of YTD. And that's a little bit of a disaster for them as they fall behind 21 to 15. Let's take a look at what that's done with our net worth. It's approaching 7,500 gold in favor of Started from the Bottom. It's sitting at, well, pretty damn close to 7,500. It's about, yeah, there we go. With that, with a little bit of farm there, it passes 7,500. XP getting close to the 7,500 mark as well. As Slark, I was going to mention right before that engagement that he had picked up a Sange and a Stash, and we actually see him pick up the recipe for the Silver Edge, completing that. So 1 for 1 in terms of our predictions this game. Actually, sorry, 1 for 2. We were wrong about the Tranquil Boots on the Rubik. Oh well. Can't be perfect, right? Anacletus has picked up a Vitality Booster, not a casual Vitality Booster. Looks like that's going to be, well, I don't know. It could be, it could just be built into a Rod of Atos. I don't know, it could be casual. It's hard to say. Either way, Sneaks is well on his way to finishing his Aghanim Scepter. Just needs the Blade of Alacrity, which he's 60 gold away from being able to purchase. Lonely Boy doing a little bit more warding as this top tier 1 tower still is standing, which is quite unusual because typically the offlane towers are the ones to go down first.
Is under attack.
As we see, the bottom tier 1 has gone down. Remember, Freedom was able to sit down there, do a little bit of pushing while there's other fights going on, and now YTD will have to devote a few more heroes to take this top tier 1 tower. Glyph has been used, and looks like we've got 3 heroes looking to defend from Started from the Bottom. It's going to be 4 as we get a charge coming in from WWD on the Spirit Breaker. Now, the Slark's even going to TP on in, but the tower has already fallen. Bacon got the last hit. Looks like he's going to be lifted and tossed back. They're going to get the kill there. Lonely Boy stands off into the trees, letting the freezing field go. Freedom is on top of him, right-clicking him down. We are going to lose the CM as we've lost everyone on the side of YTD. Not one hero falling for Started from the Bottom.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
As wow, what a fight for Started from the Bottom. That was, well, there was a lot going on in that fight, but they obviously got it all right as they managed to drop a whole bunch of heroes on the side of YTD. As apparently I missed the show fight recap. I wanted to bring it up there, but it never popped up for me. Oh well, we can still look at our gold graph and we can see it. It got pretty steep there at that moment. Tons of pings going out. I have no idea what everyone's pinging about. There's a bunch of pings coming out from Exiled there. Then there's a bunch of pings coming out from Sneaks as they continue to ping back and forth. I have no idea.
Tower is under attack.
Obviously, they're talking about something on the team. Just trying to sort out how that fight went so poorly for them. As our top 2 farmers in the game, or top 2 net worths, I should say, are both on the side of Started from the Bottom, and they're significantly far ahead.
Dire's top tower has
YTD did get a deny on that tier 2 tower, so that's a little bit going their way. But yeah, look at the difference between the Slark sitting at 12,000 net worth compared to Sneaks on the Tiny just at 8.4. And he's the top for YTD. And between those 2 heroes is the Queen of Pain at just under 11,000 net worth as well. And now she's going to finish a BKB. As we'll quickly cycle through all our heroes here. Spirit Breaker has picked up an Ogre Club and a Mithril Hammer, so BKB on the way for him. We have just recently seen Freedom pick up the Silver Edge, so no other items coming out anytime. Well, I shouldn't say anytime soon, but not since then. Misha, like we said, just picked up that BKB. We did just have a Blink Dagger picked up by Archer to go with his urn. And Anacletus has gone with the Soul Booster. I was thinking that, you know, those 2 items build towards the Soul Booster, but are we actually going to see that come out from a Skywrath Mage? Apparently we are. That's a little unusual. I don't think I've seen that build before. But maybe I've been living under a rock and I'm completely wrong. If that's the case, let me know in chat. Bacon has picked up a point booster, so his item progression has greatly slowed. But he does have that mech and he's going to work towards his Aghanims. It's going to be a little ways out though. Sneaks has finished his eggs. Lonely Boy has picked up the cloak, so it looks like he's going to be building towards a Shimmer Cape. Winter Wyvern, still no real item progression. Sitting on 1,800 gold though, so we could pick up something relatively soon. And last but not least, we got Exiled, who has finally picked up a few items. He's been kind of clawing his way back into this game. as it looks like he's building towards an Yules. We're going to have Star from the PotM seemingly posting up here on this mid-tier 2 tower, and YTD's looking for an opening. Are they going to be able to find it? As both the teams kind of in a little bit of a standoff here. Some damage did get dealt to that mid-tier 2, dropping it down to 226 HP, still away from that 160 HP it needs to be denied.
I am ever so grateful.
Wow, we're going to wait for the next creep wave. This is a tense moment for both these teams as, well, the pings come out. They're going to start right-clicking down that tower, and it's going to fall. Yes, no deny possible for YTD. Are we going to have engage? We are. WWD is going to get the Nether Strike off. Misha just jumps on him, blows up Lonely Boy on the CM. Winter Wyvern gets the freeze off on himself, but looks like he's going to go down as soon as that expires. Indeed, he will, as we've lost both supports for the side of YTD. Exile now getting right-click down. He's going to go down. Bacon's going to try to run away. He's been pounced and locked in place, so he's going to go down. Buyback has come out from the Winter Wyvern. He's going to rejoin, but he's going to die by doing so. Sneak's going to go down as well, as all 5 heroes, actually 6 heroes effectively with the buyback for the side of YTD take a fall there.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
And now,
attack.
started from the PotM, we'll look to break the high ground here, bring down this tier 3 tower. That should be easy enough. This set of racks should be easy enough for them as well. And then what do? Do they go for bottom, start bringing down that tier 3 tower? Do they back for Roche? We haven't seen Roche touched all game. They are going to have 5 seconds before the Phoenix is up. CM was already respawned. 10 seconds before the Viper and the Winter Wyvern, then 15 until the Tiny. But it looks like they're just going to back away and just go back and farm. So it's not going to be the bottom tier 3. It's not going to be Roche. It's going to be neither of those, as they're just going to drop back to farming. Oh, right. This makes so much more sense. As Anacletus not going for a Bloodstone, he's picking up the new item with that Soul Booster Octarine Core. I completely forgot that Soul Booster builds into it. So basically what Octarine Core does is, the main thing is that it gives you cooldown reduction on all your abilities by 25%. So on a hero like Anacletus, or like Skywrath Mage that's constantly spamming out his abilities, he's going to be able to spam them out even faster. And on top of that, he's going to be able to lifesteal through his spells, 25% for all damage dealt to heroes, only 5% dealt to creeps. But you're mainly going to pick it up for the cooldown reduction and that lifesteal against heroes anyways. But we can see 1.5 second cooldown for Arcane Bolt. Oh my goodness. 13.5 on Concussive, 10.5 on Ancient Seal, and 30 seconds, and eventually 15 seconds for the Mystic Flare. As we see, YTD has just run as 5 into the Roche pit. Anacletus, well, looks like he was going to face check it, but choosing not to as he backed away. And looks like this is actually just going to be a free Roche for the Dire side, as they'll welcome that, as they've fallen a little bit behind. And actually, it's a lot more than a little bit, as they're over 25,000 gold behind, XP over 25,000 as well. But they will get Roche here and get a little bit of gold for killing Roche. Aegis will go on to Sneaks, because now they're going to TP on out of the Roche pit, making sure that they don't get picked off. We've got a little bit of a grouping here from YTD, as they're going to look to push into the bottom lane, but Misha's pretty far from them, so maybe they're going to make their way up to the top lane. As yeah, they've moved to the middle lane. Probably just going to push this, forcing YTD to defend it. And yeah, now they're going to make their way up there. Never mind, Misha's rotating away. I don't know what they're doing. Looks like they are making their way up to the top lane, as Misha is going to go back up there. Misha has picked up a Mystic Staff, so probably going to build towards a Sheep Stick. Archer, haven't really seen anything coming out from him. He does have 2 smokes on hand, so that's maybe worth mentioning. Freedom, what has he made in terms of his item progression? Oh, he's actually picked up a whole Scotty. How the heck did I miss that? And he's sitting on 2,700 gold on top of that. He's been making some pretty good item progression. And actually, Misha not going straight for that Sheep Stick, as he's going to pick up a Veil of Discord. As for our Dire side heroes, Exiled has finished that Yules. Lonely Boy still hasn't made any progress towards the Glimmer Cape since picking up the Cloak. Bacon's still trying to work towards that Aghanim Scepter, but not really making any progress. Sneaks, what has he got going for him? Just that Aegis and our 1,700 gold in his pocket. And the Winter Wyvern has picked up a Staff of Wizardry. Not sure whether that's going to be a Force Staff or a Yule Scepter. I think Force Staff is a little bit more effective on a Winter Wyvern, but It's a new hero. I've only played it a couple times. Haven't even seen it that much in pubs. But we do have a successful smoke gank from YTD as they're going to get a pick off onto Archer. But as they're retreating, they're going to run right into the heroes of Starter from the PotM as once again Lonely Boy goes down. WWD throws that Nether Strike out on Bacon. We're going to lose him. We're going to lose the Winter Wyvern. We're going to lose everyone. As Sneak's left is the only one left alive as he's going to go down. He does have Aegis respawning. Bacon did buy back. TP'd up here, but he's still stuck up on the high ground, and now he's not going to be able to get in there to save Sneak. Sneaks tries to TP away, but he's going to go down. GG will be called by Exiled and YTD as they drop this first game. Keep in mind this is a best of 2, and the teams that are... How the teams will rank in the division is based on the number of wins, not on number of series wins, hence, well, it's a best of 2, right? So, we already have Started from the PotM, leading the group of everyone, the division, with 1 win. Of course, this is the only game that's been played. We've got more to come after this, as I'm guessing it's going to be about 5 minutes until our next game in this series. But then immediately, or following that, we're going to have 3 more matches throughout the day. But that's going to wrap it up for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed that cast. If you did, hit me up with a follow at twitch.tv/NizCast. You can also find me on Twitter at NizCast. And I'm going to be uploading all the stuff to my VODs on my YouTube, youtube.com/NizCast. But more importantly, go and follow Saturday Dota League on all their channels. They've got a Twitter, they've got a Facebook, they've got a YouTube. Go find out how to follow all those stuff. It's on their website at SaturdayDotaLeague.com, and there's going to be on the main page, if you go to the bottom, if you go to the home page, if you go to the bottom, sorry, it's not that page, it's on the contact page, there we go, and you go to the bottom, you can see there's a link to both their Twitter, their Facebook, and their YouTube, so you can find out all the information on how to link up with them on social media. But that's going to wrap it up for this one. Like I said, it's probably going to be about 5 minutes until our next game is going to start. So go grab a drink, grab a snack, do whatever you need to do within that 5-minute time period and come on back as we've got another exciting game between these 2 heroes, 2 teams, 2 heroes. Man. The end of this cast has been a disaster, so I'm gonna go get a drink and take a quick break myself. Hopefully you will rejoin us in 5 minutes. But thanks for watching if you don't.